When we mention episode 6, it'll be the week of Valentine's Day. If we want to.
Gross.
If we want to throw anything in there about that. So the other day, do you know who Nate Bargatze is? The comedian. Have you seen that guy?
Probably.
Actually, he's become like uber famous recently. Just like really picked up in pop culture and all that kind of stuff. But he's a Christian and he's a clean comedian.
Okay.
Which I greatly appreciate about him and stuff. And he has a podcast called Nate Land that he does with other Christian comedians. They're hilarious. I love listening to that. I just started listening to that within the past several days. But I was watching like a clip of him talking with some of the guys on their podcast, and they brought up the fastest animal in the world. Do you know what the fastest animal in the world is?
I mean, I'm guessing it's not a cheetah.
So this is where they got into arguments. So if it wasn't a cheetah, what would you think is the fastest animal in the world?
What is it, a sailfish or something like that?
Nope.
Really?
At least not. But this is where there's going to be arguments.
Okay, so are we talking about like the animals that they shot into space? That like technically that's the fastest animal.
No, this is like.
Okay, I didn't know if that's the road that we were going down.
This is technically of the animal's own volition.
Okay.
Fastest animal in the world. Like, yeah, it's like not some chimpanzee that got sent to space or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went 110,000 miles an hour. It's like, nah. Like, this is like within realms of.
Are we talking like land animal, sea animal?
All of the above.
Oh, man.
I know.
This is going to be something really stupid, isn't it?
It's not stupid. Like
okay.
So it's an argumentative thing because here's what the guy brought up. He's like the fastest animal in the world is the peregrine falcon.
Oh, when it dives.
Yeah, but that's like that was the place where like Nate and some of those guys got like contentious with him is because they're like, yeah, but that thing's just like falling with style. It ain't like he's not actually like forcing himself to go that fast. He just it's gravity. You know what I'm saying?
So what is? Well, I mean, because then, but that's the thing. Like a human can fall that fast. Because there's
aerodynamically we can't. That's the thing.
Yeah, but there's a such thing as a terminal velocity. Like,
yeah,
something can't go faster than terminal velocity without propulsion.
Yes, but I think that there's something about the shape of the peregrine falcon.
Well, yeah, because that's what the B-2 stealth bomber is based off of is the peregrine falcon.
Yeah, but the falcon is able to make itself so aerodynamic that it can go faster than anything else falling of its own volition. You know, like a human being can't get itself aerodynamic enough to be able to fall. Fastest. Because it's like 235 miles an hour or something.
Okay, and I think terminal velocity for a human is like 120 or something like that.
So they're saying like that was where the argument came in. Is like they're like peregrine falcon fastest animal, and several of the guys were like nah, and they're like what do you mean nah? And he's like dude he's just falling. Like it's not, it's not a.
What is he, Buzz Lightyear?
He's not propelling. Yeah, it's exactly. You're just falling with style. And that's what they were saying. Is like no, it's not. Like a cheetah forces himself to run 65 miles an hour, even if it's for just like a short amount of time.
Right.
But the peregrine falcon is like you're just falling, and you just happen to be able to fall in a very aerodynamic way in that sense. And so there was like a big argument about it. I just thought I'd bring it up because I was curious about your take on like where would you stand on that argument? Would you be like, yeah, peregrine falcon is the fastest because it can fall that fast, or would you say it has to be something that like under its own volition in a sense?
Like, I concede the argument that, yes, that is the fastest an animal can travel under its own power. Because you're talking aerodynamics, it is contorting itself into that position, so I would give that its... But I would say, I mean...
But is that, like, I don't know, yeah.
I completely agree with you. Like, a fish, like, has to move its body to swim.
Right.
A cheetah has to move its body to run. You're just shifting your body and holding it in that position. No, I mean, granted, like, G-forces and things like that obviously affect everything.
Right.
Well, plus their birds' bones are hollow too, so the weight ratio of a laden or unladen peregrine falcon.
Laden or unladen European swallow? I don't know. So, anyways, I just thought that was funny. I was listening to those guys argue about it the other day, and I'm like, I think that my initial reaction was, I was on the side of that. It's got to be like the animal has to propel itself that fast to be the fastest animal.
And I agree. I would say like yes, asterisk. It is the fastest animal. But I would say a cheetah or like I said, I think it's like a sailfish or one of those long nosed finned
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one of those, like a swordfish or a sailfish.
It's almost like the same equivalent of a
cheetah on land. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Anyways, you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do this. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Recognize me? No? Well, I'm Josh.
I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You could be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yes.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh is a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua.
So,
You want to kick us off?
yeah. So, kind of along the, asking just the thought-provoking questions.
Yeah.
I think this is one that we've always kind of kicked around and talked about, but not really had a definite thing. And we kind of talked about it, I guess, a little bit in the Dancing Plague episode.
Oh yeah.
What is your zombie apocalypse plan?
Oh, zombie apocalypse plan.
Yeah. I guess first of all we have to define the zombies.
Right,
yeah, because there's
which
there's
zombies are we dealing with?
overwhelming like norm, and then you have your other caveats like you have your World War Z zombies,
Right.
you have your variant zombies from Resident Evil,
Yep.
you have your Walking Dead zombies, and even there's a little
You've
bit.
even got your I Am Legend style of zombie,
Right.
in a sense. So that's a whole different ballgame because they're like intelligent.
Yeah. So I guess let's first come up with an agreement on
Yeah. So like
Zombie.
so the typical, right, is Walking Dead. What is the name of the one that my kid reads the books and we used to watch the show? That's like Last Kids on Earth. You ever see that? So that's Last Kids on Earth is very Walking Dead-esque zombies. And so that's kind of the brainless, slow for the most part, but terrifying in hordes kind of deal.
Right.
And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, I would say that World War Z is about as far away from that as you get, with like the super
Levels of
fast
intelligence
all that kind of stuff, zombies.
Yeah.
So yeah, where do we want to go? Do we want a happy medium?
Yeah, I would say like the vast majority of the zombies are the slow Walking Dead zombies.
Okay.
But you also have those little variants, like you have the intelligent ones.
Right.
Like I would say like the Dying Light ones where you have like shriekers
Okay. Yeah.
where they alert other
Yep.
zombies and
Brings in more. Yeah.
yeah. So not necessarily the
I think Last of Us had some things like that in it too.
Also they're stronger at different times. Like
Yeah.
at night they're a lot stronger. Day they're a little bit more passive.
Right.
So you really have to worry about the nights.
Okay.
So what's your zombie apocalypse plan?
So my plan that I've always had together, because I you and I are in that like daydreamer, imagining
for
things
sure.
kind of group. So my plan for a long time has always been that from the time that the news breaks that there is a zombie apocalypse and it's spreading, right? Like this is not a localized thing, but now has become, a nationwide panic kind of deal, at least for, the United States. In the case of that, I've always told my friends, from the time that the news drops, you have an hour to meet me at the church, which is our Doylestown campus of the church that I work for, to meet me there, and then we are headed north from there. My plan is
Cold?
Huh?
Are you thinking cold?
I'm thinking the cold. So that's always kind of been my idea of you bring whatever four-wheel drive vehicles you have, you load it down with every bit of, especially like non-perishable food that you have, and weapons, anything that's survival basically. Like, so
Right.
I don't really necessarily have like a bug out bag, but I have a bunch of things that are in strategic places that I could get to pretty easy. And please, I'm not a prepper. Don't like get on me about that. But I have some things that I'm like, these are the things that I would take with me if that kind of thing came up. And then, we take all the four-wheel drive vehicles and we begin heading north and stuff. The goal being is to get somewhere far north in Canada, maybe up into like the, I can never remember, the Arctic Circle. Yeah. Like up in that area.
Okay.
Where there's permanent snow, permanent ice, all that kind of stuff. And the idea being that the zombies would not be able to survive the cold, that they would freeze before they could get to where we were at. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's either that or the island thing, but the island's a lot harder to get to because I don't own a boat and we're landlocked in Ohio. So
Yeah, that's true. So my first stop is like a veterinary hospital
okay,
because medicine, like
Yeah.
everybody's gonna rob the pharmacies.
Right.
Everybody's gonna
they're
rob
going to
those.
all the human medication
Yes,
places.
but
yeah.
you have to think a lot of animal medication is very similar to human.
Practically the same stuff.
I'm getting
Plus horse tranquilizers. Can't go wrong with that, right?
you're annoying.
Go to sleep, bud.
That's the thing. You can survive a lot of bear attacks with the 22 with your friends.
This is true. Yeah. You don't have to be the fastest in the back.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just don't have to be the slowest.
You just
That's
don't
all.
have to be
Yeah,
the last
that's
one.
Right.
So I kind of agree with the cold, but my thing is I would much rather go somewhere hot because if they are like The Last of Us, where they are a bacteria based,
Yeah.
hotter climate, less chance of them survive. Like you have to find those two extremes.
Right. You're going for like killing the virus
Yes.
versus the freezing the body
Yes.
type of thing.
Because essentially with the body being frozen, the bacteria is still there. It's not necessarily dead. It's just
Sure.
dormant. And global warming and everything too. So they'd eventually thaw out.
Yeah.
But no, I'm hitting up like veterinary
The ice
hospital.
caps are melting. So are the zombies.
And same thing. I'm finding a very secure location, kind of off the beaten path.
Okay.
I've always joked one of my last jobs we did work for the Smuckers company in Orville.
Yeah.
In their discovery lab, they have a giant facility where they do all of their product testing,
Right.
and it's underground and it's like concrete walls and stuff. That's where I'm going
Okay.
because
That's
you
a
have
solid
food,
choice.
you have shelter.
Because I always thought if you could be the first one to get to Walmart and barricade that place down, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because you essentially only have
you got
two
groceries for forever, plus everything you could imagine as far as like supplies and stuff that you would
Right.
need. And you got a propane locker outside. There's grills.
Well, like that's the thing. I mean, a
appliances.
lot of people don't think about it, but like you want a place with like minimal windows, like 'cause
Right.
you want and minimal points of entry.
Yep.
Because the worst thing that you have to deal with when it is zombie apocalypse is other people.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's the biggest thing that people don't think about is other people. So I want to go somewhere where I can control who's in and out, the amount of entrances that are in and out.
And that's why I said the caveat with the Walmart thing is you got to be first one there.
Oh, yeah.
Like you and your whole crew have to roll in and you have to absolutely lock that building down. And I mean,
Right.
like, so you got to come up with some kind of creative way of how are we barricading all the doors? Because the biggest ones you got to worry about are going to be the front doors. That's where everybody's coming through, is because it's glass, all that kind of
Right.
stuff. So if you could get inside and lock down those roll down gates that they have that are inside of the thing, and then put some stuff in front of that, that's kind of your best bet for locking those down. And then you got to worry about loading bays and all that
I
stuff
was
in the
going to
back.
say, yeah, the loading bays are the next.
One of the easier ones to kind of deal with in a sense would probably be like a Lowe's. The only
True.
downside to Lowe's is just that you
There's
don't
no
have so much
food.
food, right?
Right.
So you're going to live off of beef jerky and candy bars for a while, and then you're going to have to go out hunting and figure out where do we find more food at and stuff. But
Right.
Lowe's would be the spot in the sense that you got forklifts, you've got a lot of things that you can barricade with.
Right.
A lot of things that would be handy as far as weapons, especially in the zombie apocalypse, because Lowe's doesn't sell anything you need to reload, right? You just
Right.
you just keep swinging,
Yeah.
and so chainsaws, all that kind of stuff. So like Lowe's would have some things that it would be desirable, or Home Depot, places like that. But my knee jerk is always Walmart. Like
Right.
if I can lock a place down, I want Walmart or Sam's Club.
Or Menards.
Dude, Menards would be beast, but that's too far away for us.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
true.
problem. We're like dead last getting to Menards, but then it becomes a matter of, is my will and force stronger than everybody
Right.
else's will and force?
Right. As
kinda
long as
deal.
we have a Winchester, we're fine.
At the same time, I'm like, there's just double tap every time, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just thinking like on the flip side of that is I'm very much my dad's son, and so being here where we are in Ohio, I'm thinking let's travel north if we can get to the cold, or we lock down Walmart if I'm back home in North Carolina, I'm like, how do we go Walking Dead style and start building up defenses around the homestead in a sense and just camp it out on the farm?
Right.
Because we can grow our own food. We got cows, that kind of stuff out there. So we could survive in that sense and live off the land. So you got to go to one of the extremes, right? Like it's very much what you see in Walking Dead style. That in the Walking Dead, it was early on is like the city living in Atlanta, Georgia, all that kind of stuff, and so they're trying to manage their way through an urban environment, and then eventually it kind of gets to like, okay, everybody's like homesteading and stuff like that. So we got to go find these communities that we can try to live in and all that kind of stuff. And then you run into Negan. There are rules, which like who knows? Maybe you become Negan.
Right. Yeah.
I like to think I would never be as terrible as he was, but the bat was pretty sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that's a good question. I like that one. The zombie apocalypse. So,
yeah, I figured.
So you're going hot environment, which I'm totally on board for if we can go to an island in a hot environment, right? Because in my opinion, the island is your best bet.
Yeah, as long as you can prevent anything from getting to the island, you're fine.
Yeah, which I mean, you got to think like if zombies are like, because they're not going to be intelligent enough to commandeer a ship to where you are in that sense.
Birds.
You mean carrying the virus and stuff? Yeah, but I think that like I think to a degree like bird prevention would be easier than zombie prevention on mainland. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I get to an island, birds don't typically fly from mainland out to an island, for just no reason and stuff like that. And so without knowing that we're out there and stuff like that, I don't think they're coming to us. And what small amount of birds we do see, like we take the shotguns with us, we just pick them off whenever we see them and stuff. And if they're clean, we eat them. And if they're not clean, then we, I don't know, toss them in the ocean or whatever. But so that would be mine. I wouldn't mind the island living, but it's hard being here in Ohio trying to wrap my mind around getting to
you're going to like Put-in Bay.
But I was about to say, but there's islands in the lakes up there, but I think you're going to get more birds in that case. Like, so
for sure.
Things you're talking about, I think we would experience more of that. So, you ready for our world's largest? I got another one for us.
Okay, let's do this.
This one's actually pretty fascinating, and I have to pull up a website to read you stuff for it, because there was more of a story to this than I thought there was going to be, and let me tell you what it was.
Okay.
I'll get your initial reaction, and then I'll tell you more details about it. Did you know that Hillsboro, Ohio, is the home to the world's largest horseshoe crab? Now, I'm going to say this. It's not a real crab. It is a man-made horseshoe crab, but the world's largest horseshoe crab is in Hillsboro, Ohio. What are your thoughts on that?
Can you be more landlocked than that?
Right? That as everyone's initial thing should be, why?
Yeah, do better, Ohio.
So let me tell you the story of the world's largest horseshoe crab, because it was fascinating to me. I love this.
Okay.
This gigantic horseshoe crab has migrated to
Pause.
Just wait until you hear how big it is, dude. Like, we haven't even gotten
migrated.
Yep. Yeah. That's the word that they used in the article that I'm reading, and I love that. So that the world's largest horseshoe crab has migrated from a harbor in Baltimore, Maryland, to dry land in Hillsboro, Ohio.
Okay, the Baltimore, Maryland makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. So the massive piece of art has had 4 homes over the last 25 years. The first of those homes was in Baltimore. The second was in a creationist museum in Kentucky. And the third was outside of a church in Blanchester, Ohio. And now it lives in Hillsboro, Ohio.
Wait, Blanchester? Blandchester?
Just Bland, B-L-A-N, Chester. Blanchester. Known affectionately as Krabby. Super creative, guys. Way to go. This fiberglass, it's made out of fiberglass, arthropod measures, listen to this, 67 feet long. But the 67 feet does not include its even longer tail.
No.
That sticks up behind the structure.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. So you're checking out pictures. 67 foot long plus the tail that's longer than 67 feet. It's 28 feet wide, and it's 12 feet high on the inside of it, right? So from the ground to the top of the inside of this thing would be 12 foot high. It was built in 1995 for an attraction in Baltimore's Inner Harbor. The structure is open on the inside with room for dozens of people, and it was initially used as a space for teaching about the Chesapeake Bay's marine life at the Columbus Center. Videos of sharks hunting were shown inside of the huge shell. So they're using it as like an amphitheater type of thing originally. Now, here's where it starts getting really funny. I know, as though that wasn't hilarious enough. After it was purchased in a bankruptcy sale.
No.
Yes, like think about that opportunity. I can't imagine. I hope that it was like they paid $5 for this massive horseshoe crab. But after it was purchased,
just trying to think of the description. Like horseshoe crab, $10.
Giant horseshoe crab up for auction.
Oh, it can't be that big.
Right. Somebody's like buying it online. There's no description as to how big this thing is. They're like, oh, that sounds awesome. Let's buy it, honey. They purchase it and they show up day of to go pick it up with their pickup truck.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I guess we're going to need a bigger boat.
Which the best part of this is like that there's no description anywhere in this article of how they moved it. And so I can't help but think, like, man, is it able to be taken apart and reassembled? Like, how do you move a 67-foot horseshoe crab plus its tail plus everything else to support it and stuff? It's just mind-boggling to me. But it says, so after its purchase in a bankruptcy sale, it was moved to the Midwest. And here's where, this is what I want you to know, okay? This is my favorite part of the story of this stinking horseshoe crab. It was moved to the Midwest where it spent time at 2 churches.
Why?
Just wait. In 2008, Daredevil Gene Sullivan jumped over the horseshoe crab and through a flaming, and this is in quotes, gates of hell.
Oh my gosh.
As part of his gospel ministry stunt program called Jump for Jesus.
No. Oh my gosh.
There's never been a paragraph written in anything that I've ever seen before that I loved more than this one.
Who was the opening act? Was it the dude the bodybuilders?
They bend the frying pans and stuff and rip phone books in half. Yeah. Power Team or whatever they were called. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. The first time that I read this, so I was just like sitting on my lunch break reading different things and compiling this list of world's largest things that are in Ohio. I was wheeze laughing as I read that statement because I had to read it like 4 times to really grasp all that it was saying to me. 2 different churches this thing resided at, which I'm like, how? Supposedly, based on what it said earlier on, right? It was in Kentucky, and I'm only assuming that it was at the Creation Museum that's like tied to the Ark encounter and all that kind of stuff.
That's the first one you think of.
Which, right, like, so if it's at some kind of creationist museum, I would imagine that had to be it. So that one I understand, right? I can wrap my mind around, like, there's a bankruptcy sale that goes on in Baltimore. Somebody from the Creation Museum goes, that seems like something that you could use as like an outdoor like amphitheater thing or something like that, right? So let's get that, put it on the property because it's part of creation, whatever. I can see that. What I can't wrap my mind around is when they got ready to get rid of it and some church goes, oh, we'll take it. Like, oh, we got just this spot for a 67 by 28 foot horseshoe crab that we're going to use.
That's a heck of a sermon series right there.
Dude, we're bringing this thing and we're putting it on our church property, and are we going to use it as an amphitheater? No, sir. Is this going to be where we're going to have VBS for the kids? Not at all. What are we going to do? We're going to bring in Gene. Gene's going to jump it. And when Gene jumps it, he's going to fly through the gates of hell to tell people about Jesus once he gets off of his motorcycle. Mind you, if he survives the accident, right? Could you just, like, number one, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around that ministry, right? Like, Gene was sitting around one day and he's like, you know what I love doing? I love jumping my dirt bike over things. And he's like, but I love the Lord more And so what am I going to do with my talent that the Lord has given me for like destroying my body through stupid tricks? I'm going to take it on the road, baby. And first thing I got to do is go find me a giant horseshoe crab. I can't tie them together.
I've never understood, and I've kind of always hated those like gimmicky, like
Yeah.
it's
Well, we've talked about that before. Like, you know, as a pastor, I have a little bit of a disdain for the whole idea of like we're using the flashy to try to bring people to Jesus and stuff. It's like, you know, Jesus is worthy of people being brought to by himself, right?
right. You don't have to.
He rose from the dead. Like, we don't need to add anything to that,
No.
right? That's miraculous in and of itself. He is God in the flesh. Like, we don't need to promote Jesus. Jesus promotes himself. He's pretty good at it.
Right.
Right. So we share the gospel. We do our part in that, and we play our role of what God has called us to. Because I saw Power Team when I was young, like ripping stuff in half and folding over frying pans. I saw the Christian magicians and jugglers and all that kind of stuff as I was coming up in the church. And I feel the same way. You know, it's like, I don't get it. But at least for a lot of them, you know, I could understand, like, God is powerful. He gave me the power to be able to roll this frying pan. I just can't see the tie-in of Gene
jumping his motorcycle
over a giant horseshoe crab through the gates of hell. I'm like,
so are you trying to get in? Are you
lost-
trying to get out? Like,
Gene,
what-
yeah, that's exactly. Gene, you lost me at the motorcycle part, bud. And what I can't wrap my mind around is why we're going through the gates of hell.
right.
Like, what are we doing here? And so, yeah, that was that part alone killed me. And then it says in 2015, the church put Krabby up for sale.
I bet there was one lady that was very offended by that.
You know that was a church fight.
Oh, for sure.
You know that was like some middle of nowhere Baptist church. And the church had a split over that.
Oh.
Because there were some people that loved Krabby.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, if you get rid of Krabby,
We're gone.
yeah, we're out. We're starting a whole new thing without you. And then then the other people on the other side are like, Krabby's got to go, man. Like, listen, it's run its course. Gene ain't here no more. So they put it up for sale, and it was purchased by a family in Hillsboro, Ohio. And here's what I love about this, right? This family didn't look at it and go, oh, that's a ministry opportunity. They didn't look at it and say, yeah, this makes sense financially for us to spend. I don't know how much money it was, but if it was $1, you overpaid.
Right.
But they're like, nope, we're just going to get this thing and put it right on the side of our property so people can come check it out. That's it. That's why they bought it. And I'm like, that out of this entire story, that makes the most sense. Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. So here's the cool thing about it, for us anyways, is that the sculpture is still there. It's right outside of Cincinnati. It sits right on the side of the road. And they said there's no admission fee. Good news for us, right? But there's also no place to park on the property. So you have to just pull over on the shoulder on the side of 124.
Wait, 120. Wait, isn't that close to Frogman?
That was 125,
Oh,
I think was the road, if I remember correctly. So
we're pretty close.
we'll have to do some research.
I think I looked it up. It's 2 hours and 59 minutes. So we have to be in the ballpark.
So the Cincinnati thing would make sense. The website here says, be very cautious about traffic. The owners are very friendly people and do not mind the attention that Krabby generates, which I would hope not, because you put it on the property.
That's what you bought it
That's
for.
why you bought it. And it says, please be respectful of their field and visit during daylight hours only. It's like, so we need to go there first and then go frogman hunting, and then...
Or maybe we need to find Frogman, bring Frogman 2 giant horseshoe
Frogman, you ever seen the world's largest horseshoe crab? Do you want to? Because you can get in the truck right now, bud. Maybe in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you smell like, so keep you away from the driver's seat. But yeah, so that's this week's world's largest.
Perfect.
That's in Ohio.
Perfect.
I was highly impressed with the
That is great.
horseshoe crab. So
That is great.
this week we're going to tell you again about our sponsor, the Salt Collective. We've been mentioning them each week, and we hope that you don't skip over these ads, because it's very important to us that we get to promote our friends at the Salt Collective. They are a business that exists to help small businesses and nonprofit organizations to be able to help promote themselves on social media, to be able to organize their business better. And so they exist to be able to come alongside small businesses and nonprofits and help them to just do business better. And so as they do that, one of the cool things that the Salt Collective does is they take the businesses that partner with them by hiring them on, and they partner them with the nonprofit organizations that they work with, so that what is paid from the businesses goes to support the nonprofits through the Salt Collective, so they get to do more work for nonprofits as more businesses hire them on. So we love seeing that partnership. We love seeing what they're doing. They work with several of the nonprofits here in our area. They work with several small businesses and friends of ours, and they have done tremendous work to be able to help grow their social media presence, to help them with marketing, and we believe that they could help you as well. So if you're a small business owner, or if you know a small business owner that's looking for some help in marketing, and especially in the world of Facebook and Instagram, all those online places that you can exist, if you know somebody that's in a small business that would like to hire them on for that purpose, or if you are someone that works with a nonprofit organization, we would encourage you to check out remainsalty.com, or you can go to their Facebook page by searching for the Salt Collective. You can also check them out on Instagram as well. And that we know that if you go check out their website, go check out their social media pages, you'll see the Salt Collective is a great organization doing great things for small businesses and nonprofits. And we would love for you to consider hiring them on for yourself. And again, like what Josh and I have said before, we love the Salt Collective because we record our podcast in the attic of the owner's house, which is always a positive for us, right? So check out the Salt Collective, remainsalty.com. We appreciate it. Thanks.
I kind of talked about this podcast that I kind of got this story from, and because I know like we've talked about like other podcasts and like media that we consume. Because, like, at this point, like, there are a lot of topics that we want to talk about that we've heard from other podcasts and kind of not necessarily, like, tell the same story, but kind of get each of our opinions, especially if we haven't heard it. Like the dancing plague.
Yeah, dancing plague, yep.
So, this is a mystery that actually happened. So, this takes place in Seattle. So, have you ever heard of...
It's already weird because it's in Seattle.
The Capitol Hill Mystery Soda Machine.
Okay, say that again slowly.
So it is the Capitol Hill Mystery Soda Machine.
Capitol Hill.
Yes.
Mystery
So it's
Soda
a place
Machine.
it's a location in Seattle.
I've never heard of this. It sounds fascinating already.
Okay. So it was a typical vending machine. It was like a 1970s vending machine, so it was a very old. I sent you a picture of what it looked like in Discord.
I'm checking it out right now.
So it's like a lot like the old style vending machine where it had your big advertising banner on the top of it, and then it had, I think it's 8 buttons, 8 buttons, to where it had normal flavors like Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, everything like that, and then one of the buttons was a mystery flavor.
Okay.
So, you put in your 55 cents, I think is when it started, how much it was. So they were thinking it was placed, nobody knows who placed it, nobody knows who owns it. It was just a vending machine outside of a locksmith, out front of Broadway Locksmith on East John Street in Seattle, Washington.
Okay, so remind me, when is this?
So this is like the 90s.
In the 90s, but it's like a 70s style machine.
Yeah, so it's an older vending machine.
I didn't get the picture. So is it like you're talking about one of those ones that kind of has like the brown paneling look on the front of it?
Exactly.
Just like 6 buttons that are kind of like 3 and 3.
Here you had your lock
slot.
Here.
Yep. Yeah, I got you. I got it in my mind.
And so it had one mystery button on it, so it would dispense a random flavor of soda.
Okay. All right.
So as things went on, whoever ran the vending machine noticed that mystery button would sell out a lot faster because you never knew what you were going to get.
Yeah.
So let's see. So it was in operations from at least the late 90s.
Okay.
And in 2002, drinks were 55 cents. So you put in your 2 quarters and your nickel, and you get
Which was still relatively cheap for 2002.
Well, I mean, a can of soda. I mean, that's what I remember paying for soda out of vending machines about that time.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you have to think, this is also too when a lot of companies and vending machines were switching to bottled drinks.
Yeah. True. Right.
So the cans were kind of becoming less
because the plastic 20 ounces are really becoming like a big deal at that point in time.
It had, like I said, 1 mystery button along with 5 other labeled normally. So eventually it turned to all the mystery buttons. So there was no flavors, no soda indications or anything.
So it's a complete gamble at this point in time.
So,
you don't know what you're getting.
And, for a lot of you people that are listening, you don't necessarily remember what it was like to get put in cash or change into a vending machine. half the time it would eat your money.
Right.
Or you'd go to put in a quarter and it would just slide
Just
right
keeps
out.
coming back out.
Yeah.
That was the worst. Yeah.
So
Because you're like, it's a quarter, and then the third or fourth time that you would put it in, it would accept it.
yeah, exactly. You'd have to like. You ever remember taking the $1 bill and like creasing it on the
100.
side of the vending
yeah.
machine?
Yeah.
So this inspired short films, a lot of articles, because nobody knew who was maintaining and taking care of this vending machine.
Right. That's
So
so fascinating.
In 2014, so this is fairly recent, like within the last 10 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
11 years.
11 years ago, technically. Yeah.
So it showed a post online showed 2 unidentified individuals restocking the machine. They were never able to get a clear picture of them. They don't know who they were, anything like that. And then at that time, the cost for the drink increased to 75 cents. So in a matter of 12 years, it went up 20 cents.
Yeah.
One person started digging, and they went to the city to see if they could find who pulled the permit and everything for it.
Yeah.
So the city officials start looking into this.
There is no permit.
There is no permit. It's just a
That's the
vending
best.
machine that is.
Dude's been in operation since the late 90s.
Yes.
Just rolling with this vending machine, making
So-
money, and no permit, nobody asked him to put it there, kind of thing.
Right. So and the people that own the business that it's in front of don't know anything either. Now whether it's them owning the machine and not taking credit for it because they didn't pull the permit.
Seems suspicious because right.
But they've never been tied to it, nothing like that.
Which can we just say, like, it's absolutely wild that in America you have to have a permit to put a vending machine in front of your own business.
You have to have a permit to sell lemonade.
Yeah.
Like
It's ridiculous.
so then in January of 2018, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So fairly recently, the price of the drink finally rose to $1.
Okay.
And that kind of coincide. Seattle passed a sugary drink tax.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
inflation and everything.
The bureaucrats got further involved, and so you have to pay more money.
So on June 29th of 2018, the machine disappeared. Straight up gone.
Okay. So 20 years of operation-ish. This thing's been in the same place.
No, not almost 30 years of operation. Because 1990 to 2018.
Oh, so it started in 90. Okay. I thought
Yeah.
you said the 90s.
No.
But okay.
Like
1990. So
1990.
it's like 28 years.
Yeah, almost 30 years of
Almost
operation.
30, yeah.
It just disappeared. It disappeared following the maintenance work done on the bus stop and the sidewalk that was near it.
Okay.
There was a note posted where the vending machine was. And it said, "Went for a walk."
Went for a walk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And about this time, there was a Facebook page created for the machine. So I think about a year prior to this.
Don't tell me this machine is now traveling
So
the world.
on the machine's Facebook page, this message was posted. It said, "Going for a walk, need to find myself, and maybe take a shower even."
I hope that this story goes where I'm hoping it's going.
So an employee of the locksmith noted that the machine had to have been removed with care and on purpose due to the way it was connected to its electrical supply. So somebody did this on purpose.
Yeah.
It wasn't just somebody randomly stole it or whatever.
Right.
In the months and years since then, there were several images posted to the Facebook page of the vending machine superimposed in different locations.
Okay, what's the name of their Facebook? Like, what is it called on the Facebook page? Do you know?
Yeah, I have it pulled up right now.
What's the name of it?
It's Mystery Soda Machine. The last post with this is June 9th of 2024.
I see it. They're loading me up.
But yeah, like there's a chronicle of this vending machine.
What?
And it is the vending machine too.
That's crazy. On the move, getting taken in on an old school gurney bed. So I was hoping, I'm scrolling.
Yeah, like down.
I see the pictures of it being like superimposed
like on the
in
Great
different
Wall of
spots
China,
and
or
stuff.
was
Yeah.
that not the Great Wall of China? But
Which is funny. I was hoping that it was going to be like when it said, may take a shower and stuff, that the next picture was going to be like, water raining down on it and like a scrub brush coming in from the side and stuff and cleaning it up. So it looks like it was pretty clean all the way up until those last like posts.
right.
And then like the very last just for the listeners out there, like this. So they took the soda machine and took a picture of it, and then had it like superimposed on like all these different places around the world, Great Wall of China, forests, like all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden, when you get to January 29th of 2022, there's a post that says, "Doctor said he can probably fix me."
And it's all graffitied up.
Yeah, and it's like it looks like the vending machine went from really pristine and taking a trip around the world to it must have visited Los Angeles or something like that.
No, you know what it reminded me of? The robot in Short Circuit when he goes and meets the gang. Like, he's all like...
Oh,
nice
yeah. Comes out like tatted up,
Yeah.
basically. Like it has graffiti all over it. It's very dingy looking.
Yeah.
Like the buttons like still say mystery on them, but it's got like a really weird like note on one of the slots on it and stuff. One thing I did notice though is if you go back, some of the pictures that it showed when it was supposedly like traveling and stuff, it doesn't have the mystery things in all those pictures. So some of those were not the same one, but a lot of them do though. Vast majority of them have
Right.
the mystery things on it, so it was that same machine being superimposed into all those different things. They did Easter posts with it, presidential posts. There's a lot of like really funny ones and stuff. But then all of a sudden you get to 2022.
Yeah, and it's all
tatted up looking because it's got all this graffiti and junk all over it. So clearly somewhere between those later posts, which was like 2019 was the last one that it had where it was like touring.
Yeah. Which is about the time that it got removed, or it's about a year after it got removed.
Okay, so still in pretty pristine condition in 2019, and then jumped to 2022, and it's like looking rough. He said the doctor thinks he can fix it, and then in 2024, it's being loaded up to go to a doctor and then a psychiatrist is what it says, and it says crossing my soda cans. So hopefully, that was June 9th of 2024. I'm hoping that 2025 might be the year that we bring back the mystery soda machine.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Some of the mystery flavors.
Yeah.
I do have a list of them here. So
Sun Drop, tell me. No, I'm just kidding. There's no way.
Mountain Dew, Whiteout.
Okay. That's a solid mystery flavor.
Minute Maid Pink Lemonade.
Okay.
Lemon Lime Slice.
Okay.
Code Red Mountain Dew.
Yeah, solid choice.
Hubba Bubba Bubblegum Soda.
Gross. Okay.
Raspberry Nest Tea Brisk.
Real quick pause. We actually have some of that Hubba Bubba bubblegum in that soda in our refrigerator right now.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, we went to Sweets and Geeks, and that was one of the ones that the girls picked out. So
Hawaiian Punch.
good choice.
Grape Fanta.
Okay.
Vanilla Coke.
I don't like how you say Fanta.
Fanta?
Fanta? I mean, I get it, like the commercials.
Yeah.
But
so.
Yeah. Okay.
Vanilla Coke.
I don't like vanilla Coke at all.
Okay.
Brooke is a fan. I'm not a fan.
Black Cherry Fresca.
Okay.
And Sunkissed Cherry Limeade.
Ooh, that's a
So,
super solid mystery flavor.
The thing about this though is a lot of these sodas weren't around, weren't in production when this vending machine was operational. Like they weren't like retail. Like you could not. A lot of these things you could not buy.
So it was like the truest of mystery
Right.
purchases in that sense because it wasn't even things that you could expect.
Right. Exactly. And a lot of these, I guess, were just like. Because now I think we with Amazon and things like that, like we have access to, there are, companies make different products for different regions.
Yeah.
So you have different flavors of soda. You have different flavors of candies, chips, things like that, made by the same companies, just regionally it's different.
Yeah. Yep.
Like there's things in Canada that we don't get in the United States, vice versa.
Well, it's like, so I mentioned Sundrop a while ago. So there is cherry Sundrop that exists, which is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of sodas. But you can only get cherry Sundrop in specific parts of North Carolina, so right around the Charlotte region and right around my hometown of Rocky Mount, and then in Texas, where there's a bottling company for Sundrop, are the only places that you can buy cherry Sundrop at. So like the regional thing makes total sense to me in that sense of the flavors and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean they do it. Yeah, they even do it like you're saying, like within the states. Like there's a lot of stuff that you can get in bigger metro areas that you can here.
Yep. It's like here, like to get just regular Sundrop, we have to go to Sweets and Geeks. That's the only place that we can find it around here in this area. So, yep.
Sweets and Geeks are, sure you can find it at Cracker Barrel.
Is it at Cracker Barrel?
I think so. Like in their old timey,
I haven't been to Cracker Barrel in a hot minute. I need to go.
good
sometime
old
soon.
white
Let's
barrel.
go get some breakfast. But Josh just gave me the like, yeah, I'm on board look. No, but that's like, I was gonna say, shout out to Sweets and Geeks. If you guys are looking to sponsor a podcast,
Oh
bro,
gosh, yeah.
hook us up. We would love maybe just like a little discount. Give us that,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you give us that discount code to go in there and get some stuff because we love going to Sweets and Geeks, man. My family's there too often.
Yeah, I haven't been in a hot minute, but
That 5-pound bag of hot tamales.
see, you lost me at hot tamales.
No, dude, that's
Okay,
my
okay.
favorite candy. So
Okay,
that's,
and that's fine. I have nothing against it. It just
Yeah.
makes me sick.
oh, I get it. Yeah.
So,
That's not
like-
for everybody. That's for sure.
And it's like I can't do big red gum. I can't do fireballs. I can't do anything like that. Like it physically makes me sick. Like I break out around my mouth. My stomach gets all jacked up.
I love spicy cinnamon stuff. That's like my
See,
that's my absolute jam.
I can't do like that artificial cinnamon.
I get
like
it.
when we did the that ghost pepper gumball.
Yeah.
Like I was worried because
Yep.
I was afraid it was cinnamon and it wasn't as bad.
Which, like, for those of you listening, so Josh and I we talked about it before, like on the pilot
Yeah.
episode that we used to do, Dark Knight Morning Show. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. We used to do the Dark Knight Morning Show together, and we ate a lot of crazy things, tried a lot of crazy stuff, and like tortured each other basically on that show. And one of the ones that we had was Carolina Reaper gumballs that were cinnamon flavored, like gumballs, but just fiery hot. And myself, Josh, several other people tried them. We could chew them for a while
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but like didn't keep them till like basically they had no flavor. Well, we had a guy at our church that he chewed one and never showed an ounce of emotion or anything on his face the whole time. Chewed it until it had no flavor left, like it was just regular chewing gum, and then swallowed it, I think. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, you're just an abnormal human being. But yeah, some of those fun things. But I really enjoy spicy cinnamon is like my jam. And so when we go to Sweets and Geeks, that's like I buy the 5-pound bag. It lasts me forever, but I love getting that thing so I can just snack on hot tamales all the
See,
time.
I'd buy the 5-pound bag of like gummy sharks.
Yeah. That's a solid one too.
That is hands down my favorite gummy snack is gummy sharks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a sour worm guy. I like as far as like gummy stuff goes. But I got the cinnamon thing from my dad. My dad, like, he eats atomic fireballs like they're going out of style. Like,
See, I used to like when I played baseball and stuff. Like I always used to have those, and just to keep essentially hydrated because you're constantly making
Yep.
saliva
Yep.
and things like that. And
I don't think that's how hydration works, but
science.
so as we get kind of closer to time, is there anything else about the vending machine? I don't
No,
want to cut
that-
you off
I
if
just-
there was.
I-
That's fascinating.
Like
though.
I heard it and I remembered it and I was like, it's such a unique story.
It is.
And then finding the Facebook page and then it being updated within the last year.
Yeah, that's
I thought-
exciting to me. I really hope there's a resurgence of
I know.
the mystery machine.
I followed the page and everything.
What
and-
I would love to see is Mystery Soda Machine comes back, cleaned up, functioning again, and then begins to travel the world, right? Like,
Oh, that would be.
or at least the United States. Like,
Yeah.
come to Ohio, bro. I don't care if it's $1.50 a can.
Right.
I'll get one of every mystery flavor you've got.
I mean, we have a lot of the world's largest. You could just set up and post up there.
Dude, can you imagine how crazy life would be if every time we went to one of the world's largest things in Ohio, that mystery machine was sitting there?
Dude, that'd be amazing.
I'd lose my mind. I would also buy. Seriously, I'd buy one of every mystery flavor they
well,
had.
like that was the other thing too. Like they had problems where people were like buying all the sodas, trying to figure out if there was a pattern or anything.
Oh,
So it was,
now, were they loading the sodas in different orders? So every time you pressed it, it was a true
Yep.
mystery. Gosh, that's awesome.
I know, right?
That's like best case scenario.
Right.
I'd be really pissed if I got that Hubba Bubba one, but otherwise, man, because the rest of those flavors I'd be down with.
Yeah, but yeah, I just thought, like I said, I just thought it was a little quirky, fun
that's good.
story.
You want me? Can I close out with like one last hypothetical, like real
Yeah,
quick?
absolutely.
So I don't think this one's gonna take very long to talk about. Hopefully not. So here's my hypothetical for this episode. You are offered the ability to get a perfect to get perfect sleep every time you sleep, but when you're asleep, nothing can wake you. Now here's some of the caveats for it, right? Before you go to bed, at any point in time, You decide exactly how long you're going to sleep for. You can fall asleep on command, and you will always have the highest quality sleep before waking up automatically when the time expires. So like you can say, you know, all right, I'm going to bed and I'm going to sleep for 6.5 hours. And when you lay down, you on command, you can be like sleep, and you're out 6.5 hours that you're out, but nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, can wake you up. You're on fire, you're still asleep. Somebody's punching you in the face, you're still asleep. So like all of your senses are completely shut off while you're asleep. And so you're just there for that 6.5 hours, right? So the question is like, would you take it? Would you like agree to that if you could do it?
Yes.
Yeah?
100%.
Because I'm on board with that.
Like, yeah. Like, even if it's something where, like, okay, well, I'm going to sleep for 2 hours.
Yep.
I'm perfectly rested.
Yep. Can
Like,
you imagine?
that would be amazing.
Even a 30-minute nap of perfect sleep? Dude,
Oh, yeah.
it'd be so good.
But, like, that's the thing, too. Like, I wouldn't tell anybody that
Right.
that's what happened.
Right. Because you know everybody's going to mess with you.
Oh, yeah. But could you imagine, like, man, I don't feel good. I think I'm going to go take a nap. Just be like, all right, 3 days.
Everybody in your life thinks you're just dead. They're like, he's snoring, but he's like dead to the world, man. Like that's like true sleep.
Like
They just think you're in a coma
Coma,
or something.
yeah.
Gosh.
And then you're just like, hey, what's up?
3 days though. Can you imagine how groggy you'd be if you woke up from a 3-day sleep? Even if it's perfect sleep.
No, because you said you're well rested. You have all like
Gosh. What a way to pass your time as a human being, though, right?
like.
Can you imagine getting to heaven? the Lord's like, what'd you do with the time that I gave you? And you're like, I was
that.
You know? I had some really vivid dreams. That's
Oh my gosh! Like, could you imagine somebody having that? And do you know what aphantasia is?
no.
It's where you can't visualize things in your mind.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
you can't form pictures. You don't dream. Like,
Maybe I have that.
but yeah, like you can't.
Because I don't dream. Like at least I should kind of give it like a little bit of a kind of a precursor saying I don't dream very often.
Same.
I do have dreams. I've had dreams and stuff like that. Usually when I dream, it is so wild that I have to remember it. But I don't dream on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Like,
And people have told me, they're like, "No, you definitely dream." And I'm like, I hear you, but I'm telling you, I don't. Like, I close my eyes when I go to sleep at night. There's nothing
yeah,
until I wake up in the morning.
yeah. Could you imagine though? Like, then that's the thing. Like, do you just like, are you asleep and then you're awake, and then all the time has passed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like for sure.
Well, and you talk about the thing of like I'm also the type of person that I can't like have a really hard time visualizing things. Like I can really like if I work at it and really think through something, I can eventually get myself to the point of like kind of visualizing stuff. But I have a really 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 hard time doing that. Like it's not like so like my wife and kid are both artistic, and like they can dream up something in their mind and then put it on paper. Like they've already seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're looking at the thing and drawing it. For me, I can be a really good artist as long as I'm looking at the thing. Put a cartoon in front of me, I can copy it just about exactly the way that it is on paper and stuff like that. But I cannot just out of the blue. If you were like, Josh, imagine a cartoon horse with a saddle on it and stuff like that, and then draw it. I'm like, I could begin to draw something and eventually make it kind of look like a horse with a saddle on it, but I can't just out of the blue imagine something like that.
Yeah, I mean, aphantasia is the inability to visualize.
I guess that's what I got going on then. Now I have a word to put with it. Aphantasia. Interesting.
There, I sent you a link.
Aphantasia. First described by Francis Galton in 1880, but has remained relatively unstudied. Sounds like me.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, cool. Well, as we get ready to wrap up, let's tell the people what we want them to do.
All right. As you guys know, like from our last episode, we love reading your comments. So please give us a like and a subscribe and a follow and a 5-star review so that way we can read your comments. If you have an issue with the show or you just don't like the show, don't leave a comment.
Yeah. Yeah.
It hurts us more than it helps us.
Or give us 5-star review.
And then tell us what you didn't like.
And then tell us what you didn't like. But give us a 5-star review either way. So.
Yeah, I mean, we both have thick skin. It's fine. We can shoulder the criticism.
Hey, I told you on an earlier episode that my wife was the first one to give me criticism.
Right,
like
yeah.
With the whole, like, you got to stop using your radio voice and stop, like you said,
Yeah.
don't be customer service representatives.
Right,
while
yeah,
we're on here.
exactly. Like I said, tell your friends.
Yeah,
But,
word of mouth is the best way that we're going to be able to reach more people with this, and hopefully just bring some joy and laughter into their lives as well. Like, again, we said it from the beginning, our goal with this podcast is not to try to get famous. It's not to try to make a ton of money and stuff, although those things would be fun, and we're not trying to deny those, but we're just saying our goal with it was Josh and I just really love having these kinds of conversations. We really love spending time together and talking through these kinds of things. We wanted to bring you and your family and your friends along for the ride and hopefully bring some laughter and joy into your lives along with ours. And so that's why we're doing this. And we want you to hopefully help us spread the word of that. Share it with some friends. Right now, you can hit that share button, send it over to a friend or somebody that you think might enjoy listening to these things, or maybe they might have some input to give us in a comment or something like that. We'd love to hear from them. So, yep, check us out. Go like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places. And leave a comment if you can. We'd love to hear from you guys on that. So, all right, we will catch you in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Giving up coffee.
Right.
Not giving up caffeine.
You can tell me all you like, Doc, but I will not give up my caffeine.
Sacrilegious right there.